So we're back then with our fourth and final video of the night for Marvel's Avengers. I need to save some energy for tomorrow because it's going to be a busy day, but this one is specifically about the combat for Black Panther that was shown off and talked about by the developers. Really interesting segment where they've talked about how his combat is set up in a way that actually encourages you to use a mixture of both melee and ranged moves rather than just spamming one overpowered move. So I really like the sound of that. What I managed to grab during the stream as well was 6 different screenshots of abilities for Black Panther. So what I'll do is I'll actually show off the abilities and I'll talk through them, and then from there I've cut out the interesting segments from the stream when the combat designers are talking about how they designed Black Panther. It's definitely worth listening because there's a lot of really nice information in there in regards to how they've actually built him, and he does sound like he's going to be really pretty amazing. So let's jump in, let's just quickly look at the screenshots first. The first tooltip we have here then is showing off Spinning Strike, which is a light attack. So you can press your light attack button to perform a basic melee attack, rapidly press it, I think that's 6 times, to combo a series of light attacks that inflict increased damage of each hit. While airborne, you can rapidly press the button to perform an air combo, and we've actually seen a lot of air juggling he can do, it looks pretty awesome. And then finally the last hit of the combo is a light combo finisher, so you need to do 6 hits from the look at it, but it says it inflicts significant damage, so you'll be wanting to use something like Invulnerability or Jarvis Barrier on him so he doesn't get staggered and he can do that full combo there. We've got a really nice sounding ability with this one. So this one is Kinetic Pulse. It's a heavy attack upgrade. So you'll press your light attack button 5 times, finish up with a heavy attack to chain the light combo into a heavy combo finisher. With this, you throw a volley of kinetic daggers that detonate an impact, launching enemies up into the air before knocking them away with a large blast of kinetic energy. This next tooltip is a pretty basic one, but once again it is new. So it's called a Crown's Weight. It's a modifier to the Assault Heroic. With this one here, throwing the spear creates a vortex that will stagger and pull nearby enemies into its path. We have one of the upgrade perks for Commodial Beads here. This is the Support Heroic, this one. So it's Shadow Physics, and with this it extends the duration of Commodial Beads that target enemies by 10 seconds and the Recovery Beads for allies by 10 seconds as well. Another one here that looks quite situational, but it could actually be pretty awesome. I've not played the Super Adaptoid boss much, but I hear that he does summon turrets, and I wonder if this would actually work on it. So this is Commodial Missiles. This one, the recovery beads will automatically shoot and destroy enemy projectiles fired at the hero. So potential to be pretty fun, but yeah, sounds pretty niche. The final one here is more offensive based, so this is Commodial Bombs. This one, after the Commodial beads acquire an enemy target, press left on the D-pad to detonate the beads, creating a large burst of kinetic energy at their location. The fact you're pressing left on the D-pad with this tells us that Black Panther in regards to these ranged attacks will only have one. You won't be cycling through the D-pad to actually activate different attacks at all. So interesting to find out, maybe a little bit disappointing, but hopefully we've got some modifiers through the other trees for these ranged attacks. That is all the screenshots. Let me now play the more interesting segments from the stream here.
But yeah, we just want to create a hero that people love. Movement, combat, that makes you not just look, but feel. And I will put huge emphasis on that word, feel like Black Panther. I think it brings out some of the best work from our team to date, Black Panther specifically.
When we look at it, it's pretty much, you know, we have that list of what we need to have for a character. Like they need to have specific things in order to just function sort of in our skeleton that we have for the game. But where we kind of go like, okay, well, what does the light combo do? What does it look like? I think that's where, you know, we look at the reference material. We have the animation team like really add that character on that layer. You know, like he is very acrobatic. He's very agile in his moves. There's lots of flips and lots of kicks in his attacks. Lots of strong hits. So it's a lot of that, and then just anytime we look at the function, it's how do we make it different? How do we put a spin on it that fits within the character's moveset? And oftentimes that is looking at just what the moves are and like, well, this does this, and so, you know, like the spinning claw. It's like we really wanted to have that savage sort of like claw mechanic for his combat, and so like we have that attack where he'll spiral up and do that, and he's got a lot of those. I think if you do like the sprint heavy, he's got another kind of like very agile, very multi-hit based attack that kind of sells that speed and power. So. Hey, Greg, when you get a chance, double tap R2.
Nice try. It's over.
No.
Like, I don't need that.
I'll start it up again though.
Yeah.
What do you want me to? What is
Oh,
it?
thank
you for saying stuff like that because remember I've never gotten to play with a main one, so I'm like I think I'm doing well.
I heard you don't like to block, which is kind of a key thing for Black Panther.
Yeah, I like
You
to
haven't done that.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Sir, I've beaten the most challenging stuff in the game. All right, Omega threat level. Don't worry about it. All right.
No, I'm sure you got it. I just on your road to 150, you might want to block a bit. He has a lot of mechanics around blocking and parrying.
Okay.
So, but yeah, when your intrinsic meter is full, like if you double tap R2, he triggers that big kinetic AOE, and then he buffs his melee damage for a short while. And you can keep building that meter up, and so you can kind of keep looping that inside the combat, and you'll find that you deal even more damage. So, I think players that are really going to get a good grasp on how Black Panther plays are the ones that really kind of keep up that buff and debuff sort of system. He, unlike a lot of our heroes, like we always give our heroes like some way to buff or debuff enemies, but he's really the first character that really leans into that. And so through his block mechanic, like that's one of the many buffs that he has. And that he can buff himself with, and then the heroics do a bunch of other ones. And so I think seeing players like really grasp that loop and pay attention to that cycle and sort of keep that rotation up is going to be interesting to see if they really dive down that far. The daggers, even the basic ranged attack,
Sure.
if you throw out a couple of those, it'll actually make the enemy take more melee damage. Just those itself apply a debuff for a
there it
couple
is.
seconds. Yeah, so you'll see them stick in, and it'll glow purple for the basic ones, and it stacks up to 3 times. There's some gear perks that increase that number, but just doing that, like as you're running towards the enemy, is a great way to sort of set them up for combo damage.
So that's why I'm a big fan of those. I also love the pounce stuff. I think the pounce stuff is huge. It makes him feel like Black Panther, in my opinion, and it's just a lot of fun to see him just jumping on people and wrecking them.
Yeah, and you'll see those intrinsic attacks when you do the ultimate heroic too. So normally that's one other way you can use your energy is to hold down R2 while you perform the attacks. But when you're in the ultimate state, you just get those for free, and they automatically get triggered.
But that's true. I trigger his ultimate all the time, so that's probably why I'm running around holding X and I'm just slashing everything.